Mate, how's the serenity? Honey? Hear the birds? I'm out for a bit of a solo today. Come to an old place. There's old remains of a cricket net, I suspect. This place has been around for a long time, and where I'm standing is a park. It's been a park since 1832. So, with a bit of luck, there might be something to find here. Something different today. I'm going to do a bit of, showing you how I go about doing stuff. One of our subscribers, Lynn, asked us not so long ago, how we go about cutting plugs and doing all sorts of things. So I'll do a bit of a how-to today. So we'll see what we can find and show you what I do. There's a bit of how Digga does it about today. So here we go. Foremost, you need gear. Now that, obviously, detector and headphones goes without saying. Doesn't really matter which detector. That's an Equinox 900, but there's some things you can't do without. First, spade. Really good spade. Can't emphasize how important that is. Much easier than a hand digger. This one I got from the US like 10 years ago. Brilliant. Paid 200 bucks, but been worth every cent ever since. I'm about a bit over 6'2", 189 in the old money, in the new money I should say. And this has got an extra long handle. Vitally important. Cutting plugs, cuts the ground, great. The other thing you can't do without is a pinpointer. Again, can't tell you how important it is to have a pinpointer. This allows you to find stuff in the hole. This one's an MI6 XP, but there's plenty out there. All I can say is you need one. I'm not going to bore you with all my gear, but this is what I use. I've got a brush, I've got a screwdriver, and the all-important spray. That's the best bottle I've had. That's just a toilet spray. Fill it with water, drop of detergent, and that's basically my walking around gear. Just a pouch that fits my stuff. That's basically all there is to it. And when I get to an area, what I'll usually do is I'll go for a bit of a wander and just see what's around, get a feel for the land, get a feel for what's in the ground, the sort of signals that are coming back. So I'll go for a wander for a while, but almost invariably I'll end up walking lines. I'll pick a couple of spots and I'll just walk lines up and back, up and back, up and back, so I get a comprehensive coverage. I'll show you how I do that when I get to that point. But first, I'm going to gear up and I'm just going to have a walk around. I'm going to swing the detector. For those who are technically minded, I'm in Park 2. The only real thing I've done to it is I've changed the tone breaks so that anything over 50 on a scale of 1 to 100 on the Knox 900 will be a high tone. Now, I do that because that's where most of the coins are, the ones that I'm interested in anyway. The pre-decimal coins, which is what I'm chasing, all ring up from about 50 onwards, except for the post-war threepences, which ring up at about 43, though in my last video you would have seen they were ringing up as low as 38. So like I said, this is how Digga does it. Not how everybody does it. I don't dig every signal I come across. Otherwise I would be digging ring pools all day long. So anyway, I'll get back to you when I get started. Okay, I'm about 5 minutes in and I've come across my first good signal. By good signal, I'll show you what I mean. This one is crystal clear. Though the numbers are a little bit more jumpy than I would like. The coin is usually very stable. And what I tend to do is find out where it is, because a double D coil, so the signal's going to be right in the middle of the coil. And then if I turn 90 degrees, theory is, again, be right in the middle of the coil. It should be right over the target. Now, with a 900, that's not always the case, because the 900 will actually pick up signals that are outside the coil. But with the pinpointer, to the front of the coil there somewhere, so what we do is dig a plug. Now, show you, this is going to be handheld, so I hope you don't get seasick. So I tend to dig, so the signal is about here, quite deep. I tend to dig quite small holes. You may have noticed over time that Tom likes larger holes than I do. The risk I run is that I miss the target if I'm not pinpointing correctly. But here we go. So shovel in, dig vertically so you don't disturb the roots of the grass. This ground's really easy for digging a plug. I go around in a circle and I can lift and flip the plug. Now hopefully the signal is either in there or in here. Let's have a look. Signal is still in the hole. So move on to the next bit. I'll set you up so I can see what we're doing. Okay, so the signal's in the hole. First thing we do, pinpointer. If you turn your pinpointer on, point it at the ground, it'll ground balance. In noisy ground, that will help you identify your signal. And then using the end of the pointer, it's in the bottom there. Now in this instance, I'm going to use the shovel and trying to avoid hitting whatever the target is, go a little bit wider and see what we can find. Normally I wear gloves, but normally I'm not trying to do this handheld either. Where are we going? How are we going? Okay, we're a lot closer now. You can hear the chirp. This is where my screwdriver comes in. I get in the hole and go behind the target wherever I can. Remember, this is just how I do it. I think we've moved it. So it should be in this here. And it just popped out. I don't know if you saw that, but look down here. It's popped out. Coin. You beauty. And that's how Digga does it. What do we got? Looks like a threepence. Hopefully it's an old one. Oh, it is. It's Old English. It's an Old English one. Look at that. What's the date? 1875. There'll be Queen Victoria on the back. Brilliance. Look at that. What have we got? We got it the wrong way around. There we go. Well, that's got to be worth a photo. It's worth getting out of bed for. 2-hour drive from home. Cooking with gas. Wow. Happy with that. Okay, so first things first, we've got to put our hole back together. So I've kept it relatively neat. Dirt in the bottom. Plug back in the hole in the right orientation if you can get it. Okay, first step. The second step is this, where that plug is, tamp it down and twist it. You twist it, can't tell where I've been. How's that? Not bad, eh? All that's left is a bit of dirt on the surface, which will disappear in the first rain. So, there you go. That's how Digga does it. Okay, got another signal. We're only a few metres away, a couple of metres away from that last target. I did Slim's wagon wheel around that target and then moved off and then come across this signal. Now slightly different, this one's in the plug. So again, it's a little bit all over the place, a little bit up and down, but that just may be this ground, and this is why you do a bit of a reconnoitre. So we'll get down and have a look. Hang on, try to keep the shadow off. In the plug, ground balance the pinpointer, just there. So I'm going to try and do, empty the plug into the hole. What have we got? Oh, this one's rubbish. It's a piece of metal. That happens sometimes too. It's one thing you'll never get away from is rubbish. The object of the exercise is try and keep your rubbish to find ratio as low as possible. If you can get it to 50-50, well, you're doing brilliantly. Okie doke, next hole. Okay, so I have another signal here. I'll have a look at it. Now you can hear its eye signal. The other thing you'll hear is a double tap. That means it's high in the ground, so it's only a shallow signal. And that's indicated here. You can see the signal is only like 2 triangles down, which indicates about 4 inches or 3 inches or so. Now, see if we can pinpoint it. No, don't like it. Must be small. Trick is to try and work out where it is. Now it's pretty stable. So we'll have a go and see what it is. Okay, because it's a shallow signal, we can actually chase it with the pinpointer. You can see here, it's just there. So, trusty screwdriver. I don't have to dig as big a hole. I'm not holding out great hopes for this signal because it's a bit all over the place, but we'll see what we get out of it anyway. It's in the clod here. Oh yeah, there you go. That was why it's a bit all over the place. It's a hose clamp. Bit of nothing. I tend to find that a coin signal is very clean in all directions, and that's why I was not confident this was a coin. But anyway, it's a target. Its detector's working. Okay, when I'm talking about a beautiful signal, this is what I'm talking about. See how clear that is. Relatively stable in the numbers, turned 90 degrees. Beautiful signal. What do we got? I would be confident that this is a coin. So, let's see where we go. It's not that deep either. So, maybe a 2-cent piece, could be a penny. Here we go, we'll dig again, a live dig. Looks like a kangaroo's been digging this one before me. Round in a circle. Plug out. Nothing obvious. Detector. Still in the hole. Hear that? So, down with the pinpointer. Hopefully it's not too far away. Ground balance. It's not far away. Trusty screwdriver. Getting behind where the you think signal is. What have we got? Oh, look at that. I think that's... Oh. Unfortunately, it's not a coin. It's a model car. But tight signal. Well, at least we know people have been playing here. Alright, that was an easy one. Flip the plug back in. Pinpointer off. Flatten the plug. Give it a twist. There you go. No problem. Okay, this is another crystal clear signal. Hear that? Beautiful. 84, 85, shallow. Again, could be a coin. Could be a 2-cent piece maybe. But we'll work it out. You'll see here that this plug fell apart a bit. That'll happen as well. There's nothing much you can do about that. Key here is not to be doing any damage if you can help it. What have we got? What have we got? Oh, there's a coin, look. Look at that. It's not a 2-cent piece. You beauty. It's a florin. Look at that. Queen Elizabeth. Florin. That's silver, so 1954. That's why it was such a beautiful signal. Excellent. Gotta love a florin. So there's obviously stuff here. So I've been doing my reconnoitering. I'm pretty close to starting to do some lines. But now I know that at least, so there was coins up here and up in the top bit here. There was a coin down there in the hollow. So what am I going to do? Well, do things. There's a tree there. I did a lap of the tree for nothing, but there's a line of trees here, a windbreak. So to me, that's a classic place to do a line, to do a few lines. I would start at one end of that and walk all the way down. Then I would turn around, one swing width, and come back up again. I'd probably do that 3 or 4 times, and if there's nothing, then I'd move on, probably down into that hollow, or I would move around and do a line along the edge, and then be able to think about the edges. You can see where your line is. Then for about 3 or 4 detector swings out, you can work it out before you start getting lost. So not far off it, but I'm going to keep going for just a little bit. Okay, we have another beautiful each way signal. This one's 5152. It's in the plug, so right in the middle, that's always a good sign. What do we got? It's a coin. It's a coin. But not sure what it is. Let's have a look at that. It's got a feel of like a 1-cent piece, but it's really light. Maybe it's not a coin. We'll have a look. I'll clean it up and then we'll get back to you. Okay, so what we have is a clipped coin. You can see there, Kangaroo 1948, that's a halfpenny. and someone's gone right around the edge of it and clipped all the edges off. Never seen that before. King George the VI on the back. Just see his face there. So, yes, it is a coin. That would explain why I didn't know what it was. It was around the size of a 1 cent piece. It was ringing too low, so that's what it is. It was a halfpenny. It does count, however. So there is stuff here. That's 3 pre-decimals so far. I haven't been going for much more than an hour, so I'll take that hit rate any day. Cool. Get your pick. Okay, beautiful 61, 62 signal in the hole, both directions. See how we go. Bottom of the hole in the middle, that's handy. Dig around the edge, something to work with. Tidy little lump. It's not far away. What's that? This soil's great for digging. It's very loamy. There's a river just behind me, so I suspect this gets fairly regularly inundated. Can't hear the thing chirping. Oh, what do we got? Okay, it's not a coin, but it is a decent relic nevertheless. Look at that. It's a buckle. That is brass, but given that the iron pin is still intact, I'd say it's not very old. It's a belt buckle. So, still finding. Here we go. Belt buckle, it's not old. Don't even think it's worth a photo. Okay, 2 things about this signal. First, it was a bit deeper, therefore I've actually gone a fair bit wider on my hole, because that means if the signal was still in the hole, I've got room to maneuver and dig. Turns out it's actually in the plug, right in the middle. The other thing is this signal is only like a very low signal, like 24, 25 on the Equinox. Why would I dig that low? Because it was a clean signal. That's why I'm digging that low. And it could be something like a button as well, so we'll have a look and see what we can get. I know it's in the plug here somewhere. Oh, there it is there. What is it? Oh, okay. That is a 303 bullet, I'm pretty sure. Been fired. It's been fired. It's actually the second piece of ammunition I found here. I found a pistol ball earlier, but I didn't film. So, here you go. Low signal. Something a bit different. So now what I'm going to do, I'm going to do a couple of lines. There we go, look at that. 6pence. But that's a spoon. Oh, it's Queen Victoria as well. Oh wow, okay. Nice.